I'm Joëlle.
Okay, Joëlle. And what do you want?
What
You
do I
want nice hair.
Nice hair, beautiful hair.
Beautiful hair.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a grow out from about a half year, and now we're going to restyle it and make a new hairstyle of it. Will it turn for you in the rest of the world and show what you have now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, first thing I do is pin up her hair. She has nice soft hair, but the ends are terrible destroyed. It's a perm from a half year ago, some more, I think about 8 months. And you can see it on the length that's grow on, because that was very short. I'm now going to make a hairstyle of it. And she loves purple, so use a purple cape.
Yes, of course.
Purple cape. No, not that one. The side side, what I just said, is growing back. She wants to create more length, and what we do is going to make in the fall of our hairstyle, leave the length at the back a little bit longer, but the front will be shorter. It's nicer on her face. So just the side beards and the part beyond that, and the ends will be taken off because they're ultra dry. And with a deep conditioner into my color, create a new color on her hair. So afterwards she has stunning hair again.
Yes.
Yes.
Finally.
Finally.
It's been too long.
Klein puntje. What I do, I create a line under the eyebrow line. So I take this line and that I use as a guide. It's the same line there as always in the skull. So that's why I use that. Set out that line. And I start cutting at the front. And set up my first line. So this line will create that line. So I watch through the hair, take away the dry ends, because we have to create a nice new fall. Okay, now I lift it a little bit over, give it a slight graduation to the back, and work it up till I come to the front part, because this is the length that is growing back. So now I create a line that connects to that. So get a long asymmetrical line, but still using her skull bones and the shapes of her skull as a guideline. I'm working with my cobalt Keone scissor. Minor adjustments to the line. And the part beneath this, we're going to make a little bit short and make a short disconnect in it. Ja. Ja, je moet het gewoon een keer gedaan hebben.
Yeah.
Take a new layer on it. Lay it in the same line and just part the hair from above on the fall of the hair, because the longer parts stay at the other side. And this way I can get off a lot of the old perm and create a nice new hairstyle. Always cut it in the opposite direction. So when I want to fall to the back, I have to use it to the front to get the guideline. The guideline still is the eyebrow bone. And that's where I'm leaning all my cuts on. I first cut the upper part till the skull bone at the back. And now I can see that the shape of her hairstyle will be a lot more beautiful. And the waves are coming back, the natural waves. Dat is ook wat ik vaak vertel. Hè. Ik zal het even in het Engels ook vertellen, dat versta je wel.
Yeah.
What I often tell people with long hair, when you create a perm into it, that you have to be aware that the perm has to grow out, and that you can see on her hair. The perm is about 8 months ago and is growing out, but it has to grow out. So when you take a part of the hair, and that's what I always explain to the customers also, I like perm, but not that much. I prefer a good hairstyle. When I take, for example, this hair length, it's about 40 centimeters, it's about 4 years old. So when I put a perm in it, it takes 4 years to grow out, and that's a long time, because you see what summer does to the hair. So that's what you have to be aware when you put a perm into long hair. Working over the roundings of the skull, and put all the hair from the other part to this guideline, this side. That way I'm sure that the skull is working with me, not against me. And I already can feel that the hair is much more beautiful and much more sexier. Het is eigenlijk best lekker als je met je knet.
Ja. Ja, ik voel het ook als je met je vingers er doorheen gaat. Dat als
Oh, dit
zeker
is zoveel
voelt.
lekkerder.
Ja.
Je gaat straks zitten voelen.
Ja.
You can take the hair over. Work with the natural folds. Bend it a bit. Gives a slight graduation, so it will go to the back. You get also a little bit of layers on it, but that's not a problem. The layers give a little bit volume to the hair, so you can do more with it. And when you work as a hairdresser and you have a seat where you have wheels on it, you have to be aware that this hair goes around your wheels. So your chair will be stuck in one haircut. Now I come to the small parts that grow back. I just have to create a shape in it. And this shape will be the same as I use on the upper length. I lay my fingers in the line of her eyebrow bone and create this new line in it, so it has a shape and it flows into the hair, and not take off a lot of length, because I take all the hair to the side, so the length get more when it get far away from my fingers. And again we can see a wonderful ear with a nice earring. To create some more movement in it, I lay a small slice technique on the upper layer. Just the tip of my scissor. Take real small parts, so the line that goes back has a little more place to play. The front part I create a little bit shorter, otherwise it's standing out. I don't want that, and I want to see the lovely ear. It's just the part above the ear, nothing more, nothing less. Go to the center of the ear, lay the hairs back, set out a straight line up, curve it a little bit above the ear. Take the hairs again from behind the ear, that lays in the shape of the ear, because behind the ear always hairs go in the opposite lines and they get the shape by the ear, so you have to take them off. Lay it back. What sticks out, you take away.
Ja.
so far this side. You see how wonderful now it is. This is the same line as the chin line. The ears nice free. The fall of the hair is to the back. This may curl a little bit, but that's wonderful because then we get some movement in it. So now we go to the other part. Now we're coming to the back. Here's the guideline I just cut. You can see that, and here starts the length from the back. And we leave this length as long as possible. Take just off the dry ends. So I work the whole hairstyle, even when it's a long hairstyle, in an asymmetrical line. And it's a shame that we don't get feeling on YouTube, but otherwise you could feel that the hair feels lovely. Dat is al een mooi plaatje al. Feel so good. Doom, doom.
Ja.
So we come also to this part. This is the front of her hair. So there I go to, and then I go to the front to cut it on the front line. My guideline is laying here, my old guideline. And by getting layers into the hair, you get a longer feeling of hair. The hair, even when it's cut, looks longer and it shows longer. So it's a bit weird, but it is. And again, this line is the same line as the chin line. So this line comes back at the front. So there's always a connection to the skull and not a disconnection.
Ja, begint gewoon om 9 uur. Dus
8:30, we houden morgen.
Ja.
Control the natural fall of the natural lines, and then you see that this part may be a little bit shorter. It's just a connection because there's still a wave in it, and now the wave is not a perm wave, but it looks like a natural wave. But all perms look like natural, but they have to have good hair, otherwise it's nothing. Talking about loving women. I love women. I love the way they shows, love the way they goes. Girls. The front, I use a cutting slice technique. Just softly went down to the parts that are not stable anymore because there stuck my scissor.
Vanaf waar zit geen permanent meer?
Nou, dat is ongeveer vanaf hier.
Ja, toch wel. Hè? Ja.
Dat is juist wel mooi, want nu heb je dus echt, je hebt wel van nature ook een beetje een slagje erin.
Ja, klopt.
En die kan je nu stabiliseren.
Ja.
Here you see the dry ends. Lay them in the same line. Cut it while I'm moving and try to take over the lines I see in the skull. Dat is wel mooi, dan zitten we thuis te kijken naar een filmpje van Nina. Want ik moest een oud filmpje opzetten.
Ja.
En dan vraagt hij aan mij van, meneer Knoop, wat ziet u nu als u naar dat filmpje zit te kijken? En dan zeg ik, dan zie ik eigenlijk hetzelfde als wat jullie doen. Het springt van de hak op de tak, maar het is toch wel leuk om naar te kijken.
Ja, ja, ja.
Want bij het hond is ook een hak op de tak.
Ja.
Blijkt wel. Now you can see that, please turn a little bit. There is a new move into the hair. So now I just need to cut the upper layers a little bit because these are still a bit dry, but there's only the part on top of the skull, not more and not less. So that I take up from the upper layers. Take the hair up, pull it in the angle of 45 degrees. This is my connection I made on the bottom. And the other connection is on top. And just take off that end of the hair. You can see that it's dry. So normally where my comb stucks, there I cut, because that's not hair anymore. And there's nobody that wants a rope on the head. There we do other things with. No, just kidding. Oh, we hebben een schommel van maken.
Ja.
This layer I make with a point cut technique from about a centimeter. And I make my round around the shape of the skull again. And hair cutting is just like a dance. When you see the rhythm of it, you can dance around the person you cut. And it's nicer to do, because when you're standing in one place, it's not easy to cut the hair, and because you have to move. Just move it, move it.
Ja, ik had hem ook in mijn hoofd.
Ja, ik zag hem komen. We had the same music in our head. Control it once more. Be sure that all the dry ends are off. Okay, for so far, the cutting, I have created a new line in it. See a wonderful fall, and show you at the back. Oh, so yes, enough. So the length is, she has wonderful hair again, and see the bouncing of the hair. And when I'm going to color it with a deep conditioner, it will be stunning again. So lovely to held your hands in. What I made is from Infinity Colors. It's from Affinage with 3%, a stand volume, 366, and it's a deep red brown. And what I do is I mix it 2-0 on the back sides, because I want to get more depth in it, but also with 3%. So I start just on top. I love to work in a freehand style because that goes a little bit faster. Take about 1 centimeter by centimeter. And when you use 3%, so 10 volume, the conditioners that lay into the colors give more power to the hair. She has no gray hair, so why should I do more than that? And the color is a little bit deeper than her own color, so that's why I use only a 3%. Now I take my tube 2-0, that's a natural dark brown, mix it into my color, don't have to put any peroxide into it. Mix them, and then I use on the short side to create more depth into the color. And I think when you are a hairdresser you always use at least 2 colors, otherwise they can do it themselves at home. And it's nothing special when you take 1 color. Comb it into the upper hair to create a soft line. Close my...
Oh, sorry.
Oh my God. She's turning while I'm working. Close my plastic foil. I will heat this product for 20 minutes and then rinse it out, and I'll be back to dry the hair to show you the end result. Hello, we're back. Okay, what I'm going to do now is this the color with 3%, and I want to remain the curls in it, so I can move into the hair. So I pick from Lancer the Curl Divine, and that's the first product I'm going to use. It's not shitting me, but it's just the air in the bottle. Let the massage into the hair. And I will dry it with a diffuser. And try to get as much wave out of it that I can. lift the hair up a bit, not pulling on it, leave it into the diffuser, then shape it a bit by turning. And this way I dry the whole hair. Lekker haar.
Heerlijk. Ja.
Echt heerlijk haar.
Ja. Het springt weer.
Absoluut. Als je de bovenstukje,
Ja.
als je dat wil laten krullen zelf,
Ja.
moet je kleine pekmannetjes pakken. Dan pak je een krul,
Ja.
die draai je in en dan zet je een knijpertje erop.
Oh
Dan
ja.
knijp je lekker de wilde boven.
Ja.
I'm going to use now because I want the curls to bounce. I get a taffy of Lanza, but not alone the taffy because that is too sticky on it. So I put in a polish. So now I get a different product. Put it all over my hands. And always do with curly hair and long hair because you don't have to scrunchies you go into it and you shake, just shake the hair, come from under, create some lift and more volume, and then with the last part you have, you put on the outside. Lay the side straight to the back, the front to the front. Get a little bit product on the front because it's a small bang. That's the part that grows back. It was very short. It was on the hairline. And that hair you do this way. So the last product you get in and give it a little bit a push against it, so you get a curl. And the product I'm going to use now is a movable hairspray. It's a Hold 4. It's also from Lanza. And this is a wonderful product for curly hair because curly hair don't have to sit on one place. It has to move. Otherwise, it's not nice to watch. And it smells very nice. It makes the hair very playable, and you can get it out of the hair by combing in one time. Don't get any force on the hair. And this is my new hairstyle for her. Yeah. Do run, do run. Het is ook een heel oud liedje.
Ja.
Okay, you will turn for me and the rest of the world. Especially me. Okay, thank you very much.
Dankjewel.
Graag gedaan.